Welcome all. Today we're going to be discussing the evaluation and proposed redesign of neilgaiman.com. I'll be your presenter today, and my name is Megan Bergeron. You can also feel free to call me Red. During this introduction, what we will be doing is evaluating the advantages and disadvantages of the current website for neilgaiman.com. We will also be taking a look at a possible redesign we can do for neilgaiman.com. We will also take a look at the advantages and disadvantages of that proposed redesign. In addition to that, we will also be listing off some recommendations for some steps we should be covering if a redesign is going to occur sometime in the future. The purpose of this presentation is to evaluate the current design for the website and how the information is organized, and to take a look at what possible changes or modifications we could make to that existing site to make it easier for our users to navigate to the information they wish to see. With that being said, why don't we take a look right now at the current website for neilgaiman.com. As you can see on the current website, on this main page here, up at the top, underneath his name, we have several different primary tier sections that the user can click on to access information either about the author, things happening in his life, maybe through his social media accounts, various things that you can get information on. Some of the advantages of the current website's design is that the navigation buttons up at the top are pretty easily recognizable. A user that has never been to the website before can quickly identify those particular buttons and realize that they will be links that will send them to various web pages inside of the website itself. Also, the layout is not very overwhelming. It's pretty simple to tell where you are located on the website. Just by glancing at the website, you can quickly get information about maybe new things that the author is doing as far as some social media links. You can also see if there's anything new and up and coming happening with books that he may be releasing soon. Another advantage of having just the one set of buttons, or the primary tier set of buttons, on this homepage is that it allows the user to explore the website on their own. So even if I've never been to this particular website before, I'm able to just kind of browse around the web page, maybe get a feel for where information is on the page. It's really nice to be able to explore as a user, just because you get to kind of learn a little bit about the site and where you'd like to go with it. In addition to these advantages, there's also a link at the very bottom of the page to the sitemap, which allows users that maybe prefer seeing an expanded view of the information on the different web pages that the website contains, so they can get a tree-like look at the different things that are on the site itself. Next to that as well, there's also a feedback button, which I think is pretty good for users to be able to use that to just give feedback whenever they feel like it about the website itself. Now, as for the disadvantages of the site, what potentially could be frustrating for some users is that the main buttons do not give any further information. For example, if I were to hover my cursor over the About Neil section on this main page, I don't actually see any other information as to what subsections the About Neil section might contain. There's no subsets that appear at all when you hover over any of these links, and if users are looking to quickly and efficiently find a particular subsection, they might need to dig through some pages if they don't notice the sitemap link at the very bottom of the website. And if they're not familiar with the website at all and they just need to get the information now rather than later, they're still going to have to kind of search through a lot of different things in order to get the information that they want. For the proposed redesign of the website, I've devised a quick little movie here that I think will show off how changing around some of the ways this information is presented and organized could be helpful to our users. In my little example here, if you hover your cursor over About Neil, you'll be presented with a drop-down menu that will show off separate sections: awards and honors, patronage, and subscribe. If you hover your cursor over any of these initial subsections, you'll get additional subsections. So if we take a look at awards and honors, we'll be able to see personal awards, comics, variety of different things that you can choose from, and if you hover over any of those other sections, for example, novels actually has a subsection as well, you'll be able to see fiction or nonfiction. So by having this quick breakdown of information, if a user, whether they're brand new to the website or they have visited the website hundreds of times before, they'll be able to quickly and easily find the information that they're looking for and get to it faster without necessarily needing to explore various different web pages within the site or by looking at the site map. The clear advantage to setting the site up like this is that we're giving our users the ability to quickly hover over those primary tier links to make a decision on whatever section it is of the website that they wish to explore. Also, if we rename some of the subsections, it would allow for users to have better clarity and understanding of whatever is going to be contained on that particular page by the user. For example, in the current website, the subscribe button that I had talked about in my proposed redesign example actually is called Author Perk. This is a place where you could go in and submit your email address so you can receive a newsletter of up-and-coming things from the author. If I don't have any clue what Author Perk is, I'm probably not going to click on it. So if we change the label for Author Perk to be subscribe instead, that's going to be much clearer for the user to be able to understand what they're getting into. Also, by setting this website up in this manner, it will quickly and efficiently allow users to navigate to their desired web page without having to click too many times. Too often with websites, we find that people get frustrated when they have to click more than maybe 3 or 4 times to get to the desired content they wish to see. Right now on the website, you have to click around quite a few times in order to get to the places that you'd want to get to. With this particular setup, you would not have to click as many times to get to the content you want to see. I also suggest reorganizing some of these subsections to allow for better understanding for groupings of similar content. In the current website's design, much of the content is kind of all grouped together under a title called Cool Stuff. In the proposed redesign of the website, Cool Stuff is going to be slimmed down quite a bit. Anything that's fan-related will have its very own section on the website. Anything that is related to essays, because that section is extremely extensive, that's going to have its very own section of the website. Cool Stuff itself can get renamed. For example, instead of calling the section Cool Stuff, we can call it Multimedia, and then have different sections for maybe audio excerpts or video excerpts or anything like that. Some of the disadvantages of this particular redesign is that by adding those different drop-down menus of sections and subsections, there's actually less exploration on the user's part. So if you're a first-time visitor to the website, you're really not getting the same experience as you were getting in the current website version, where you can kind of explore on your own. Also, changing some of the labels could momentarily disorient any veteran users of the website itself. If people are used to looking for Author Perk to get newsletter information from the author, for example, if we switch that to subscribe, that may throw them off just a little bit. Reorganizing the different subsections could also potentially disorient and frustrate veteran users, but the hope is that with these newer ways to look at the information, users will still be able to quickly and efficiently find the content they're looking for. As far as recommendations for the redesign of neilgaiman.com goes, we think that the site feedback link should definitely remain on the website in order to continue getting anonymous feedback from users, which will help us in any future redesign projects that we have for the website. It's also recommended that the sitemap link should stay there in order to give users options to view content in another way. This allows the user to feel as if they have a little more say in how they would like to view their content. They don't have to view it the way we think they should view it. They could view it in another way if that works better for them. If we do plan on going ahead and redesigning this particular website, some of the next steps that we should take would be a card sort exercise. on how they would like to organize the information, both for groups of people that are familiar with the website and for groups of people that are unfamiliar with the website. This way we can see how both groups think the information should be organized and try to come up with the best solution for organizing that information based off of the insight of both parties. Once all the feedback, both from the card sort exercise and from the anonymous feedback tool on the website itself is looked at, we can then try designing some prototypes of how the website could look. With these prototype designs, we can also allow users that are visiting the website to choose to preview what these prototypes will look like. This way, they can get an idea of how the new website will look and start getting familiar with how it's going to look, so they can kind of switch back and forth between the prototype and the current website as it is. This also gives us another way of getting information or feedback from our users based on how they think this new prototype looks. Like, is it something that we still have room to make changes on? Is it something that's working out really well? All of these recommendations are just things that will hopefully help our process in the future. As for redesigning this website right now, I don't believe it's something that necessarily needs to happen very soon. I think that if we change the names of some of the labels for different web pages on the site, that can just help make things a little more clear for users using the website itself. But I don't know that this particular website needs to have everything be changed right now. All of these different ideas for changing the way the information is organized are really just suggestions of what we potentially could do in the future. I think as the website stands right now, it's still put together very well. It still has a lot of really good information available on the website, and I do like the fact that users can just sort of browse around and explore on their own. But some of these changes could definitely help out users that maybe are less familiar with the website navigate around to find the things that they need to get more quickly. So I do think that it's something we should take a look at, perhaps for some future redesigns. But otherwise, the website does a good job of keeping things organized in a fairly logical manner. All in all, I think the neilgaiman.com website is a fairly strong and composed website that has a lot of organization with its information, but like with anything else, there's always room for improvement. I think especially just by focusing on whatever feedback information is coming in through the website from that feedback link over the next 5 years or so, we should definitely learn a lot of information about how our users like using the website and maybe things that they dislike about using the website. And that alone is going to give us a lot of information, or at least ideas or jumping points for what we should be focusing on the next time we want to redesign this site. Again, all of these recommendations and even the examples given about the proposed redesign are just suggestions. This is not necessarily something that needs to be focused on at the moment, but it's something to keep in mind as far as how we would like to see information organized at a later date for this particular website. I hope you enjoyed this presentation, and I look forward to hearing about your ideas and feedback at a later date. Thank you.